Hi, okay, welcome to session 3. You have made it. We are at the end of the course. Today's session is the consolidation. So first of all, really, really well done. We have packed a huge amount into this course. We are going to test ourselves in the consolidation. So my advice to you would be to actually not look anything up. Literally treat this like an assessment, because by the end of it, you'll then have a really good idea of what you have got from this course that's really secure, and you can say, I'm 100% confident here, and what areas you're thinking still needs a little bit of work. Now, that is absolutely normal. There isn't a student really in the land, although there's probably one or two, that go into a maths test and pass it 100%. We are always learning, we're always evolving. And sometimes we just need that little bit of exposure to a topic more than once, more than twice. Some topics take 3 or 4 times. So remember, you have this for 12 months. You can go back, dip into things, revise, use the consolidations to check in and see how much you're recalling. And it may be that you want to go back and redo some bits and pieces. That's the point of giving it to you for 12 months, so that you can keep on top of all this maths. All right, there are some proper tough questions. So warn you now. And obviously I will help you through those. So let's just crack on. Let's do this and good luck. So first question, hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so we have 4x plus 1 equaling 9. So last thing I say is the plus 1. So we're going to hop. It's going to land as -1. I have 4x equals 8. And then get that 4 across. It's going to land as a divide. So x is equal to 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Next one is 2x minus 5 equals 4. Again, last thing you say works perfectly here. So we've got 2x equals 9. And then you're going to divide through by that 2, and x is going to be either left is 9 over 2. That's acceptable. That is an answer. Or you can change it to the decimal of 4.5. Okay. And then our 2y minus 1 equals 12. Going to hop. It's going to land as plus 1. I've got 2y equaling 13. Divide through by the 2. And I've got that same thing happening. I can either leave it or I can take it all the way through to its decimal. If I was on a calculator, I'd probably just hit my S to D and show it as a decimal. If I wasn't, if it was non-calculator, I'd leave it like that. They're not asking for a decimal answer. They're just asking for a value for y, and the fraction is the value. All right, next question. Expand. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so everything inside the bracket is going to be multiplied by the x. So x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x, and it's a positive 2. So here's your answer. Hopefully that went well. Next one, a bit more expanding. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so we've got 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. And then we've got 4 times x is 4x. It's a positive 4x. And then 4 times negative 2, that's minus 8. So again, just watch out for those negatives. Now we're going to collect these up. So I've got 3 x's, I've got another 4, and it does say add them. So we've got 7 x's, and then I've got 21, take away 8, which is 13. 13 is a positive number, so the positive number is written in. Okay, there's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you split this, you will still get the same end result. So if you split this differently to the way I'm about to demonstrate, as long as you've got all that working out and your answer comes out the same, then you know everything went well. I'm going to split it down, bit of a habit of mine to do that. And I can see here in this rectangle, I have got my width of 3. And I've got a full 10 there. So 10 times 3 is 30. And then into this one, I can see I've got a 2, but I've got to be careful. That 8 stretches all the way along, and I really do only just want that bit there. So I am going to think about my 8. Think about the fact that I have 3 there. That tells me this needs to be 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8. And then I can finish this off. 5 times 2 is 10. So the complete area is going to be 30 plus 10, which is 40 centimeters squared. Okay, try and remember your units, try and remember to show everything. The 30 and the 10 is pretty obvious, it's going to add to 40, so it can be easy to not write that down, but the examiner is going to expect this, and if you are preparing for a GCSE, then that is important, all right? Okay, there's your next question. There's lots in this question. It really is the way that a GCSE question could look. So I'm going to leave you with that. Go through the entire question, and then once you're ready, hit play, and we will go through all the answers. Okay, so the first thing that you were asked was to draw the 5th pattern. So I've already put that in, so you don't have to literally watch me draw it. So your 5th pattern should look like that. Okay. We then needed to complete the table. To complete the table, you are looking at how that sequence is growing. We can see that it is going up 4 each time. So if I add 4, I will get to 17. Add another 4 and I will get to 21. We've then been asked to find an expression in terms of n. So our sequence is 1, 5, 9, on and on it goes. We already know it goes up in 4s, so it's 4n. Now we want to go back 4 to find that last bit. 1 take away 4 is -3. So that -3 is coming to join, and there's your nth term, okay? Harry has 50 counters. He wants to use as many counters as possible to make the sequence. So this is where we take the rule. We set it to equal the number that he has. And then we solve it like an equation, okay? So that is going to land as +3. So we've got 4n equals 53. I'm then going to divide through by 4. So n is equal to 53 divided by 4. So you would work out how many 4s were in 53, which is 13. 13 4s are 52, so there's 1 left over, or you may have gone straight to the decimal. Okay, now that tells me we can make 13. We'll have maybe 1 counter over, but that's not enough to make the next pattern. So the biggest pattern that we can make is 13. Okay, so that is all of that answered. Next question, hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so the first thing that I would say with this question is if you were completely stuck and not sure how to answer it, you would just try anything that you can see, all right? We can see it's an angles question. So without reading any of the blurb, I could say, all right, I can see I have a straight line here. So I am going to work on my straight line. Okay, I might put the half moon in as well. So I've got 180, take away 105, which is 75. Mark it on. It says give reasons, so I will write down straight line equals 180. And then hopefully that, because there's now an extra angle in the diagram, could lead me into seeing something else that I could do. So whenever you're stuck on an angles type question, don't worry about the blurb, just go for it, okay? The blurb itself is really just pointing out some things like we've got straight lines. That should trigger, straight lines, 180. There must be that in the diagram if they're telling me straight lines are in there. I've got parallel lines. So when I read that, I should be thinking, oh, F's and Z's will help me link between the parallel lines. They've made clear which ones are 30 and 105. And we've obviously got to work out X, which they've marked on for us. So that's really helpful as well. So looking at where I'm at in this problem, I can now see this triangle here. This triangle will obviously add up to 180, and I've got two angles, which means I can find this one. It's not X, but it is an angle that I can find. So we're doing 180, take away the 75, take away the 30. That actually gives me 75, and I've used triangle equals 180. And I'm going to mark it on. So that is 75, because I always mark on. To finish this, I'm going to use the parallel lines. If you've got a question with parallel lines, the chances are you are going to use them at some point, all right? So I'm going to use them at this stage, because here I have my F. So if tucked up inside that one is 75, tucked up inside that one is 75. So I'm going to call X 75, and I've used corresponding angles are equal to help me finish it off. So every angle you find, write your reason down so that you don't lose any marks. Really easy to lose marks on our angles that way. All right, there is your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so this question tells us the triangles are equilateral. It also uses this word congruent. Congruent means absolutely identical, the same in every possible way. And the fact that we've been told that is going to help us solve this question. But I do want to point something out to you about the paper, because if we haven't had a lot of experience with this paper, it might be something that we don't know. I'm going to just over here, just draw in that shape there. Now that is a rhombus, and a rhombus has equal edges. So the fact that they told us that the triangles were equilateral was quite generous. They didn't actually need to, because this edge here is the same as this edge here. I already know that these will all equal each other. However, they did tell us, so I can go straight into using that fact. So knowing that that is an equilateral, it must hold true, because it's on the same dotty paper, that that is the same triangle as well. You can almost see the top of that shape just folding down and fitting in, can't you? Which means all of these are identical congruent triangles. So our hexagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. Around the outside, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So I've got a total of 12 triangles. They are all equal in size. So I'm going to take the 120, divide it by the number of triangles, and that is going to give me 10. I just want the area of the hexagon. So I just want 6 of those triangles. So I know that 1 triangle is equal to 10. 6 triangles is going to be 6 times 10, which is 60. Okay, so 60 centimeters squared is the answer to that question. Okay, next one, hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so we have the rule y equals x squared minus 5. So we've got x squared minus 5. We know that x squared means multiply by itself. In the table, the first number that I'm going to put in is 1. So I've got 1 squared minus 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 5 is minus 4. So we pop that in. We've then got 0 squared minus 5. Well, 0 times 0 is 0. Minus 5 will come out as our final answer. And then we've got the minus 2 going in. Minus 2 squared minus 5. Now, minus 2 times minus 2, those two negatives are going to make a positive. So that is going to give me 4 minus 5, which is equal to minus 1. You just need to take care if you're using a calculator on those negatives, because they can throw it out. If I was doing it on a calculator, I would put it in brackets, or I would just do it in hand. Minus 2 times minus 2 equals, get that answer, and then do the next step. And it'll just help you not make an error that way. You will then plot your coordinates. I have already done this. And sketch in your curve, okay? Now it's really important, no straight lines. Do it as smooth as you can. It doesn't matter if you do go slightly off. You can see I'm slightly off here. That is fine. You know, I'm as good as going through those lines, sketching the curve, all right? Okay, our next question. Pause and press play when you're ready. Okay. So our rule is u plus 10t. So I've got u plus 10. It's squashed to t. I'm going to expand that out so that I can see the maths that I have to do. U is 10 and t is 7. Now I've got more than one operation, so I've got to be very mindful of my BIDMAS, haven't I? Okay. I've got plus and times. So I can see that my times is coming first. So 10 sevens are 70. The 10 is still at the beginning, being added to the 70 I've just made, giving a final answer of 80. So V is equal to 80. Okay. Next one. Now, this is obviously a very tough question. We were looking at forming and solving equations last session, and I did say last session that you know, you've not got to stress yourself out too much. You have the skills, but this is quite a big way of applying them, and it takes time and it takes practice. I've included it because yes, last session may have gone incredibly well for you, and you might want to test yourself. It's entirely up to you if you choose to do this question or not. Obviously, I'm going to just go through as normal. If you're choosing not to, you can skip on or just watch through, just see, be exposed to it and have a feel for how it works. But preferably, you'll go with this option, which is, so what if it goes wrong? You know, I'm just going to give it a go. Okay. If when you start the solution and you go, oh my God, okay, now I know, then pause again and finish it off yourself. So you can use me starting it as your hint, so to speak. Anyway, hit pause, press play, have a go. Okay, so the key, so the hint, if you do want to pause, is in the very first line. It says the angle ABC, so that's this angle here, is equal to BCA, which is this angle here. And if I've got two angles that are equal, then I've got two edges that are equal. I'm looking at an isosceles triangle. So this edge and this edge are equal. And if they are equal, it means I can write 5x minus 5 equals 19 minus x. And feel free to pause and finish this up if you want. So that's the key. That's the thing that unlocks the problem. Happy days. Now it is just literally solving the equation that I've written. I don't want x's on both sides. So I'm going to pick up the smaller set of x's and I'm going to drop it on the other side. Now this is negative x on this side. So it's going to land as positive x. So 5x plus x is 6x. I've still got my minus 5 and that is going to equal 19. And we'll just keep going with getting that x on its own now, don't we? So I've got 6x equaling 24. Divide through by 6 and x is equal to 4. Now, we haven't finished. Remember the top tip of always checking in with the last part of the question. It's a brilliant exam technique. This here is telling us to work out the perimeter of the triangle, not just find x. And after doing that much work, it kind of feels like we finished. We've kind of met the goal. So always double check. 50% of the time, it really is just find x. But the other 50%, it wants you to then use the x. So if x is equal to 4, then these x's here are all worth 4. So I'm going to substitute the 4 into the 5x minus 5. So 5 times x minus 5, 5 times 4 minus 5, and that is giving me 15. So if this edge is 15, then this edge is 15, because we already know they're isosceles, don't we? 2x, the base of my triangle, means that I've got 2 times 4, which is 8, and the perimeter is therefore 15 plus 15 plus 8, which is 38 centimeters. Now I finish the question. So do watch out for that. If that's gone well, amazing, like proper amazing. These types of questions take a lot of time to develop our skills in and to get confident in. We can't do it unless we see them. We have to be exposed. You are being thrown massively in the deep end, because this course is all about working around the grade 3. This is a grade 5 question, so you should be feeling uncomfortable. All right, don't worry if it's not going brilliantly. I've included them because we had a little look at it last session, not because there's this massive expectation that you should be brilliant at them. It's not, but you've got to start at some point. So don't let this put you off and think, oh, my maths is rubbish. It is not. It is just gone crazy mad there for a few minutes. All right. So please don't let this worry you massively. And we've got courses that develop further on that see all of this again. All right. Okay, on to our next question. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so we're going to reflect this in the line x equals minus 1. So first thing we need to do is locate our x, find our minus 1, and it's going to be the straight line that goes through there like that. Hopefully we get that on. Okay, and then it's just a case really of counting through to the line. So this corner here is 2, hits the line, so it will be 2 away and it will go there, and you would build your shape. If you're using the tracing paper, then obviously you would just trace, flip over, and it will show you exactly where that is. And that there is the answer. So if yours is looking like that, it is looking good. Okay, next question. Now, I have done something here which is totally mean, so forgive me. Okay, I'm always pushing. What I've done is I've included this. Now, this is not something that we have done. The reason I've done it is, one, well, why not try something that looks different? What's the worst thing that can happen? It just goes completely wrong. It's not the end of the world, is it? Okay, but I really just wanted to show you where else our brackets can go. So there's one other area in brackets that goes up to grade 5, and this is actually in our grade 5, one of our grade 5 courses. There's also a how to help video, which is on YouTube, that you would be able to look at if you wanted to learn more about this. I'm going to leave it with you to see how far you can get in this question. Then I'm going to explain it to you. And I've got another one later on, so that if you wanted to have another go at it, you could. It's not essential to this course. I wanted you to know that whilst you have done a huge amount of bracket work, there is this one little area still within the foundation course that could come up and that you'd want to be aware of. In higher, it goes up into triple brackets, all right? That is, way further on. So hit pause, have a go at both those, and press play when you're ready. Okay, so the first one, we've got 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. Then we've got minus 2 times 1, which is minus 2. And then we've got minus 2 times minus x. The two negatives make a positive. All right. So I haven't been put off by the fact that things are in slightly different positions. I've just gone with my method and trusted in it. Now I'm going to collect things up. So I've got my x's here. It says add another 2 x's. So I've got 6x, and then minus 12 minus another 2. I'm at minus 14. Okay. So this one. Basically, the two brackets are squashed together, and anything squashed together means times. So what this is asking me to do is to multiply this bracket and all of this bracket, so everything inside it, to this bracket, to everything inside it. So we do this in a very systematic approach so that everything gets multiplied by everything. And it looks like this. X times x is x squared. And then I multiply the x to the 5. X times 5 is 5x, and it's a positive 5, so it's positive 5x. So my x here in this bracket has now multiplied everything in this bracket. I'm going to do the same now with the negative 3, okay? And I'm going to show it just underneath, so I don't have loads of arrows crossing each other. So minus 3 times x is minus 3x. And then minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. And we call this method crab's claw because if you look at all the lines and use a little bit of imagination, you can kind of see a crab's claw. So we call it the crab's claw method, and it expands the product of two brackets. Now, I'm not quite finished because this middle section here will group together. So the x squareds make a group of their own. The x's make a group. 5x take 3x is 2x. And then the numbers make a group. Okay. So that's the final answer. Now, if you got some bits of that right, then that is really, really good, because it's a tough question. How on earth could you know that method? You wouldn't. You would know that it means times because of the squashing, and you may have tried some different combinations and come out with some of those elements. And that would have been awesome if you'd managed that. So I do have another one coming up a little bit later on. It's entirely up to you whether or not you want to do it. Okay. All right. So back to it. Generate the first 4 terms of this sequence. Okay, so we've got the rule 6n minus 4. That means 6 times n minus 4. We want the first 4 terms. So the number 1 is going to go in first. So 6 times 1 minus 4. 6 times 1 is 6, take 4 is 2. And then we're going to put the number 2 in. 6 times 2 minus 4. We've got 12, take 4, which is 8. Now you can continue like that, or you can say, right, my sequence is 2, 8. It's going up in 6s, which is what I would expect because my 6 is squashed to the end. That's where the times table of 6 is coming into this. And so I can just carry on adding in 6s if I want. So the next one is 14 and the next one is 20. So hopefully that went well. And there is your next question. Okay, read through, take your time and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so again, we have an angles question. If I didn't know what I was doing, I would go straight in with this one here and hope that was going to at least get me a mark and maybe give me a clue as to what to do next. Okay, so that is exactly what I'm going to do. All right, I've got 180, take away 144. That's 36. I'm going to mark that on and I'm going to give my reason. Straight line equals 180 degrees. So they've told me it's parallel. So my F's and Z's are going to be happening in this question. They've confirmed the angles and they want me to find EAB. Now it's not marked on there, so I better work out what that is. So there's E, EAB, they want that angle there. Okay. So if I can work out this angle, I can use angles in a triangle. And I can find this one really, really easily using this. Because of the parallel lines, we've got our, oops, that doesn't show up very well. We've got our F shape, which means that must be 67. Okay, so we've got 67 degrees corresponding. Okay, corresponding angles are equal. There we go. So now all I need to do is 180, take away the 67 and the 36. I'm using angles in a triangle and I've got 77 degrees. Triangle equals 180 degrees. Okay. Now that is not the only way to do this question. All right, it really isn't. You can move around in another way. It could overcomplicate it or it might not. I'll show you another way that that could work. You could get that 36 and then you could correspond down here. This is the other obvious way, or at least obvious to me. Okay, and then I can use the big triangle to finish it off. Okay, we see things the way we see things, don't we? All right, your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. All right, so 6x minus 9 is less than 33. We are not put off by that symbol. Our method is exactly the same. We just want to get x on its own. So minus 9 will land as positive 9, giving me 6x less than 42. Divide through by that 6, and x is less than 7. Now, the next one does use a lot of our algebra skills. We've got a bracket. So first thing we're going to do is expand that bracket. So 2 times x is 2x. And then 2 times minus 7 is minus 14. So once we've expanded, it will then look like this. Now, if I want to solve this, I need to get the x's together on one side. I am going to pick up the smaller set of x's. Okay, positive 2x is going to land as minus 2x. That's going to leave me minus 14 on this side. 6x take 2x is 4x plus 5. And then I can keep going. So that is going to land as -5. So I've got -14 minus 5 equaling my 4x. -14 minus 5 is going to take me to -19. So let's do it over here. So we've got -19 equaling our 4x. And then we're going to divide through by that 4 to get x on its own. Okay. And we can literally leave it there, or we can hit our S to D and finish it off that way. All right. So that is the answer to that one. If you got that one right, really well done, because there was a lot going on with that one. Some people don't like working backwards. Remember, I've told you that it's perfectly fine to rewrite. So you could have written 5x plus 5 equals -14, and then your hopping can be in the direction that's comfortable to you. All right. But you don't have to do that. Okay, so here's our next question. Press play when you're ready. Okay, so Sally thinks 35 is in the sequence, and is she correct? So there's a number of ways that you could answer this one. There's no one right way. So one of the ways that you could do it is you could just continue the sequence. If you keep the sequence going, eventually you'll get into the 30s and you will be able to show very clearly that 35 is not in it. You could try and explain it in a sentence. So we are saying here, that this is pretty much the 3 times table. It's just not starting at 3, it's starting at 6. So you could say the sequence is the 3 times table starting at 6, and 35 isn't in the 3 times table. So that is an acceptable explanation of what's happening with that sequence. And the other option is to use the algebraic approach, where you work out your nth term. So it's going up in 3s, so it's 3n. Take away 3, and we got +3. You set that to the number, and then you go on and solve. So I'm going to take off 3 to give me 3n equals 32. And when I divide through by 3, it does not go exactly. So not divisible by 3. It gives me 10.666, not whole number. You don't have to write these. The fact that you've written 10.666 and then the word no explains it. Okay, I just wanted to remind you of the algebra option, because when the numbers aren't easy to explain, or the number's not low enough down for you to carry it on, then this is the way that you would need to do it. So I just thought I'd show that in case you had a go at it that way. All right, there's our next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so our rule is that the x and the y adds to 5. Now we've got x numbers given to us. X is 4. So I've got 4 plus y, a number I don't know, that equals 5. Well, that has to be 1, doesn't it? It's the only number that we can use. And then I keep that idea going. 3 plus this number I don't know is going to equal 5. So that must be 2. I can do it again, or I can start spotting the pattern. Okay, so 2 plus 3. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would then plot those coordinates. All right. Let's get that out of the way. You would plot those coordinates. So we've got 4, 1, etc., etc. I've already done it. And you would draw it up. And make sure you don't overextend that line, okay? That's what it should look like when it's finished. Okay. There's our next question. All right, so take your time. If the angles have gone well, fab, you'll enjoy this question, I'm sure. If it's been a bit of a struggle, then try and think about how we've approached the others They do all have a very similar way of kind of getting into them. So have a think, take your time and press play when you're ready. Okay, so this one didn't give me a nice straight line starting point. Okay, I have my parallel lines, so I know I've got my F's and Z's. And it's kind of the first thing that they've mentioned. So I'm going to go with that and see what I can find. They have given me only one angle, that one there. So if I can link that up to the top, I can at least get it on somewhere else, and I can. There's my Z, and I've got my 72 degrees going in there. Now, again, it asks for reasons. So we're going to write 72 degrees corresponding. And obviously you'd go on and write angles are equal, but I'll just do that bit there. Now, something they haven't mentioned in the blurb, and I need to spot, are these little dashes. That is now telling me I have an isosceles triangle. So right here, I have an isosceles triangle. Okay, that one's 72, that one's 72. So I have got 72 degrees here. Okay, I can now just use my angles inside a triangle. Before I do that, okay, I am going to write 72 degrees has been found using my isos triangle. When you are in an exam situation, don't take shortcuts writing things down, just in case we're upsetting the examiner, okay? So 180, take away the 72s, and you've got 36 degrees as your answer, with the final comment, triangles equal 180 degrees. Okay, so hopefully that is all good and we are happy. Okay, next question. Read it through carefully and then have a good go and hit play when you are ready. Okay, so we need to transfer some of the information into those diagrams. If the numbers are with the diagrams, it may help me, okay? We've got both the word perimeter and area being used. So I need to make sure I'm confident about the differences between those two. So we add around the edges for perimeter and it's base times height for the area. So I'm drawing on my knowledge. I'm thinking about what I know before I even start the problem itself. It tells me that QR is 10 centimeters. So I'm going to locate QR and I'm going to put on that fact. So I know that I have 10 centimeters there. Okay. It says the area of PQRS is 45. So I know that the area of this one here is 45. I've got to find the length of AB. So that's my problem there on the other rectangle. Okay. It does say that BC is equal to PQ. So this edge here is equal to this edge here. So if I can find this edge, I'm on my way to having a number on this rectangle. Okay. Now, it's all set up and ready. If you want to hit pause and have a go at this stage, please do. If you want to just keep going, marking through what you've done, feel free to keep playing on. So what do I know? I know that the area is base times height. I know that the base is a number yet to be found. Yeah, this is my base. I don't know it, but I do know the height is 10 and I do know the total area is 45. So I am going to divide through by 10 and the base is 4.5. I know that edge is 4.5. And if that edge is 4.5, then this edge is 4.5. Now, what do I know about this particular rectangle? I know it has a perimeter of 30. So I've got this. I know that's 4.5, which means that's 4.5. I don't know the other two edges, but I do know they're equal in length. I know the whole perimeter is 30. Now, if I take away from the 30 my two 4.5s, or I could just write take away 9, obviously, that would give me 21. I need to share that 21 between the two edges. So 21 divided by 2 is 10.5. That is the length of AB, 10.5 centimeters. If you got that right, brilliant. All right, these are challenging questions there. I'm not going easy on you at all. All right, this is tough. If you got halfway through, if you got anything, that is absolutely fantastic. These questions are like 4 marks, so there's a lot of marks available to them. You're only going to get good at this type of question if you see it, if you have a go at it. So that's why we're throwing it in there. Please don't worry if you are finding it challenging in places. I haven't gone lightly, have I? I'm mean and nasty. All right, let's go for it. Our next question. Now you can skip this. This is another one that I said would come up that we haven't practiced in the course. All right. If you want to go for it, go for it. If you don't, just skip through this bit and get on to the next question. Okay. So hit pause, press play if you're doing it. All right. So we're going with that crab's claw. X is going to multiply everything in the other bracket. So I've got x times x, which is x squared. X times minus 7 is minus 7x. Now it's the turn of my negative 3. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Now, very carefully, we're going to be doing minus 3 times minus 7. Those two negatives are going to make a positive. So easy to miss that. And I've got plus 21. The middle always collects, okay? So I've got x squared minus 7 and minusing another 3. That's going to take me to minus 10x plus 21. If you got that right, amazing, proper amazing. And that question that I've put in is as hard as it gets. Oh yeah, it is pretty hard with all those extra negatives. So yeah, really well done. No more surprises, I promise. Okay, I can't promise that they're not going to be hard. So this is another tough one. This links to yesterday's learning, okay, where you've got to form your own equation. So I want you to hit pause, just go for it. Just see what you can do and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so we are going to add to the diagram the information that they're telling us. They're telling us AD is X. So I'm going to pop it on there so I can see it. It says AB is twice the length of AD. So that's 2 lots of X's, or 2X, okay? The perimeter of the parallelogram is 51. So I know perimeter is all the way around the outside. So all the way around the outside, that's 51. Well, I don't have all of the outside labeled up. So let's do that. That must be X. That must be 2X. That piece of algebra will add together 2X plus another X plus another 2X plus another X. That all adds together to give me 6 X's. So the perimeter in algebra is 6X. The perimeter in numbers is 51. So they equal each other. And then I am good to go, okay? I'm going to divide through by the 6. that'll go into my calculator, and I get 8.5. Units of centimeters. So the length of AD is 8.5 centimeters. Hopefully that went well. All right, it is really hard. So anything that's going positively, you should be celebrating, all right, because they are tough. All right, back to something we've had lots of practice in. Hit pause, have a go, and press play when you're ready. Okay, so we're going to be working out the value of S. S is 2p plus 3q. So 2p means 2 times p plus 3 times q. Now, there's a lot of operations going on here. So we've got our bidmus. We've got our times and adds. Quite common for this to come up. Now, we must multiply first. Before we multiply, we've got to put our numbers in, obviously, but we must multiply first. So I've got everything now to get this hopefully going right. So my P is -5 and my Q is 4. Doing my timesing first, 2 times -5 is -10. 3 times 4 is 12. I've got the add left to do, and -10 plus 12 is 2. Okay, so hopefully that went well. We have got to work out the value of n. Now, this is literally just solving equations. It's just back to front, isn't it? Okay, I could, if I wanted to, say it's 2n plus 60 equaling t. Sorry, equaling t. Yeah. And then 2n plus 60 equals 80, because that's what t is. All right. Or I can keep it in the order that they've given it to me in. It makes no difference. I've started it this way, so I'm going to finish it this way. So I'm going to take off the 60. I've got 2n equals 20, and then divide through by the 2, and n is equal to 10. All right. So hopefully that went well. On to our next question. All right, a little bit of a toughie, okay? Have a go. If you're not sure about the line, then obviously hit play, listen through to that stage of it, and then hit pause to finish it off. But have a think first and press play when you're ready. Okay, so the line y equals -x is definitely a tricky line. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to go back to reminding us of y equals x. Okay, when y is 1, x is 1. When y is 2, x is 2, and so on. So when we've just got a negative in front of the x here, we will just have negatives in front of that numerical value that matches y. So for this particular question, your set of coordinates, remember that our coordinates are the x value first, then the y. So our coordinates would be -1, 1, -2, 2, and so on. So you've got -1, 1, -2, 2, and so on. So that line is going to be that diagonal going in a downward negative direction, okay? So that's the line. If you weren't sure about the line and you want to pause now and have a go at reflecting in it, please do. Otherwise, I'm going to scroll down to the answer, which looks like that. Okay, tough one. It's not a massively common line to be used in these types of questions, but it can, and it's really important that you're aware of it. So that's why I have included it. All right, we have another question. There it is. It's another toughie, okay? It is hard, so we are really out of our comfort zone. I really just want you to do your best. That's all you can do. When you come back and hit play, you might take a hint from the first bit that I'm saying and then go away with that and try again. Entirely up to you how you choose to do this question. So hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so what am I looking at? I am looking at a 5-sided shape, a pentagon, and I've got a triangle that's kind of drawn on the end of it. So I can see these two things. They're telling me it's regular. Now that's a really important word, because what that is letting me know is that the pentagon, when it's regular, has all its edges and all its angles identical, they're equal. So this angle here is equal to this angle here, and so on. So what I need to do is work out the total angles in a pentagon and then divide that through by 5. So I like the shape trick, okay? I know that in a triangle is 180. I know that in a square there's 360. This is the sequence of add 180 each time. So that's a 3-sided shape. That's a 4-sided shape. My 5-sided shape, which is what I have got in this question, is just another 180 on. So I'm at 540. Okay, so 540, oops, let's do that. There we go. 540 now needs to be shared into all of those. Okay, so you'll do 540 divided by 5. That will give you 108. I now know that each one of these is 108 degrees. I need to work out the size of BCD. BCD is this angle here. So that's the missing number that they want me to find. Now, I know this is 108. I also know this here is 108, don't I? Because they are all equal. Using my straight line, I can work out that this is 72. Well, if that's 108, that is going to be 72 as well. We've got an isosceles triangle going on there. So we've got 180, take away the two 72s, and 36 degrees is the final answer. It's always quite daunting, isn't it, when you're given an angles question and they haven't even given you one angle to get you going. All right. They can do that when it's regular. You can't really do that otherwise. The fact that it's regular and everything gets shared out equally is what enables us to be able to give you a question basically with nothing, or what feels like nothing. Okay, last question. All right, so have a go. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so with this question, we just need to be careful. We have got a patio. The patio has been given to us in meters, and we're going to cover it in slabs that's been given to us in centimeters. So the first job when it comes to solving a question like this is to get these units the same. So I'm going to change my meters into centimeters. So we've got 420 centimeters and 300 centimeters. There's 100 centimeters in a meter. So I've used that fact. Then I'm going to consider how many slabs I can actually fit all the way along. Now they're going to take up 60 centimeters. So it's basically how many 60s that I can get into the 420. So 420 divided by 60 is 7. So I can fit 7 in that direction. 300 divided by 60 is 5. So I can fit 5 in that direction. So basically I'm going to have 5 rows of 7 slabs. Okay, so 7 times 5, 7 slabs 5 times gives me 35. We've got 32. Does he have enough? it's so important to answer the question, no. He needs 3 more, or he's only got 32 and he needs 35. A sentence that really explains why the answer is no is what they would be looking for there. Okay, that's it. You are done. So I obviously would like to say congratulations. It is a huge commitment to do a course like this. There is a massive amount of content, so much learning. Really, really proud of you to have got yourself all the way to the end and given this consolidation a good go, because it's not easy. So really, really well done. I hope you've enjoyed the course and you've enjoyed learning with us. One of the best ways to measure how you have got on through the course, yes, the consolidation is giving you a really good indication, but just generally reflecting, you know, where was your maths on these topics right at the beginning before you started the learning, and where is it now? And if you can hand on heart say, I'm more confident and I'm getting more right, I understand more, then you have made great progress. And that is ultimately the goal here. It's moving forward in our skills. It's not perfection. Perfection's a really hard thing to achieve. Okay, I said right at the beginning that you've got the course for 12 months. Please make sure that you are using it, dipping back in and out of it when it suits you. It's repetition that makes a difference. You know, when we're teaching in the school environment, this comes up year on year, and we're always building. So do make the most of it. If you would like to carry on your studies with us, then we've got the grade 4 courses. They are the next level up. They will take what you've learned here and they will keep building on it. All right, think of it as like foundation blocks, and we're constantly building. All right. Thank